Welcome to the No Filter Zone.
Criminal history before you hired him, Congresswoman? Were you aware at all of his criminal past?
I'm going to refer you to my page because I made a statement and I said that there would be no additional statements. So it is fully containing everything that you need.
Why do you
need
think
someone to read it for you?
No, I read it, but I'm wondering why do you think he was impersonating a federal agent? How did it get past your office?
Yeah. You know, people are still talking about Jasmine Crockett's loss in Texas, and they act like they can't understand why. I mean, if this doesn't show you, what does? I mean, she really don't have to give an explanation how this person who was killed by cops, how he was able to get a job with her for so long as being her primary. Not somebody who you don't know. Yeah, who's this guy? I don't know. Well, keep him over there. You know, we're talking about primary security for years. And he ends up being a person with a false identity. Then he ends up, like, getting killed by cops in your state. And then you got no comment. Go to my website. Read what I put out there. I don't know why people would think that's acceptable. I mean, I know we want to say, you know, we like when black women are strong, but strong can go wrong. This is crazy. Now, it's true she's not running for anything right now because she just lost her Senate race and her district is gone, so that's it. There's already a replacement for her in her district as representative. All I'm saying is this shows you what kind of time she on. Stop making excuses for Jasmine Crockett. This situation with Mike King or whatever his name was, I think there's more there. I don't have any evidence of it, but I believe there's more there. I don't believe, when I go back and listen to the comments that Jasmine Crockett has made over the years about you could be a criminal but not be a criminal. I mean, you can commit crimes, but that don't mean you're a criminal. You hear the way that one of the lawyers for the now deceased primary security guard, bodyguard for Jasmine Crockett, how he described his client, Mr. Mike King, as being very smooth, likable, able to, you know, floss and, you know, having a lot of charisma, having his own way, you know, being just the type of person that can, you know, talk his way into some things. You really don't think that there wasn't more going on with Jasmine Crockett? I know it's messy, but I'm just saying, I mean, why? She's walking pretty fast. In this clip, she's walking fast. I thought she was doing some speed walking. I thought she was in training. That was some fast walking she was doing. And she had nothing to talk about at all. Now, do you think if Tallarico's bodyguard was fake, had a fake identity and got killed, you think Tallarico would be walking fast like that and tell people just go to the website? Or you think Tallarico would stop and give some smooth shit? Then y'all wonder why Obama didn't endorse her. Hey man, I'm not a Obama supporter at all, man. He betrayed me a long time ago. I'd never get over the lies that he told. I supported the Flint clean water in Flint for years. I got many reasons, but that's just one of them. But what do you think Obama would have done if that would have been him? And they would have stopped, if they were asking him about a bodyguard who ended up being not who he said he was, who was his primary bodyguard. How do you think Obama would have handled that? Would he huffed and puffed and said go to his website, or would he have stopped and been smooth? Said something that, you know, maybe made a joke out of it. Well, listen, you never really know who people are. And I had no idea. You know, I was as surprised as you. But make no mistake, if I would have known, different things would have been done. But, of course, hindsight's 50-50. Hey, look, I know I'm not the only person who's ever been fooled by someone. Fool me once, shame on you. Shame on me. Shame on you. Shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I got fooled once. It was over a long period of time, but that's because I believe that incarcerated people can, I believe that people are who they are. And I saw a brother who had promise, a brother with ability. And he built trust, and it's a shame. But more so, his life is lost. I wish we'd focus on the fact that we have a young man who lost his life, trying to rebuild his life, lost his life. That should be where our focus is, instead of what he did in the past. His life was what's more than a mistake he made 15 years earlier. Hope that answers your question. I gotta go. All right, I gotta go. See, that's how politicians talk. They don't go, give my iPad, give my iPad, give my iPad. They don't basically flip you off, tell you to go F yourself in their sunglasses, in their fur coat, doing 4 miles an hour, and say, I told your ass to go to the website. Unless they got something to hide. Yeah. So when y'all say, hey, even I, who am a critic of Obama, can say, I see why you didn't endorse her. Look at how she handles situations. Horrible. Horrible. She doesn't even feel like she should have to explain. She feels like she's above being asked a question. Man, we don't need that. And the fact you think that she should be chosen, it's just because she's black, because it ain't nothing. I'm going to keep it moving. Do better. But what I find funny is this video here. This is Gary Chambers. Gary Chambers ran for Congress. I think it was Congress. Was it Senate or Congress? I think he's going to get into it. Let's check him out with Stephen A. Smith. Because they talk about Jasmine Crockett.
Talk about 31 million, all right, if you become one or two U.S. senators. But in order to win Texas, and I say Texas the way I say Texas for a reason, that's the South, it's deep South right there. I said, you're going to have to come across a little bit differently if you want to win. That was my belief system. You can call that assimilation or whatever. I'm just thinking you're trying to win an election. Those are voters. You got to go get them. Was I wrong in my thinking, in my assertions and thinking that?
I think so. And I'm going to give you a perspective from my election in 2022. When I ran against John Kennedy with Luke Mixon was a fighter pilot, Top Gun pilot in the military, went to West Point, great man, and he ran for office, a white Democrat. He was endorsed by our Democratic governor at the time. He raised $3 million, which I only raised $1.4 million. Folks told me that Luke Mixon was going to beat me in the race when we were in that situation. Luke asked me one day, Gary, why are you so nice to me? I said, because you can't beat me. Louisiana is 34% black, Stephen. What we have done as a strategy is tell black people that you got to go get that white vote in order to win, when the truth is you're leaving hundreds of thousands of black voters at home because you're not engaging them or prioritizing them. So if you have, it's really always numbers. Louisiana is 34% black, which means that I only need 15 to 20% of white voters to join me in order to win this election. When I ran, I got 40% of white Democrats. Luke Mixon got 26% of black Democrats. What I'm saying in that is I was talking about black issues. I never had an event where white people didn't show up. I have learned that the white voters that we are looking for, they are chasing us down. They need us to go get our base out. And what we have failed at as black Democrats is prioritize the needs of black people in tangible ways so that we can stimulate and motivate them to go vote. We can't just show up at events. We got to get in the community. We got to let some of our aunties and uncles cuss us out because they're not satisfied with the product of what they get in their neighborhood. And then after they tell you what they feel about you, that same black person is going to show up for you because they want to be able to hold you accountable. And the only way that black people have been able to hold the Democratic establishment accountable is not to show up.
So you're saying to me that Louisiana is 34% in terms of the black vote that you was after, it's about 34% black. Well, what was the number in what was the number in Texas?
Texas percentage is about, I think, 14 or 15% black. But Texas is over 50% minority, right? And so what I believe the strategy for black Democrats in Texas has to be, you got to get every black voter in Texas engaged, energized, and geared up behind a black candidate. And just like James Tallarico has won his primary, and now he's going to try to get black voters to come over to him. When you win your primary, you then get to bring people over to you. But we are always making our decisions based on what other people are doing rather than what is in our best interest first. No other group of people does that other than black people.
Okay, so you're saying to me that Jasmine Crockett should have and could have focused more and primarily on the black voter, and that would have been enough for her to win Texas. That whether it was a campaign, whether it's a campaign manager or somebody, they didn't do their job and make sure.
Absolutely, she would have won the primary if she focused. If she had put all of her energy into black voters and turned those voters. She lost by 144,000. She had 1 million plus black people on the line. So you have a winning strategy. The execution of the strategy left too many black voters on the vine. And the proof is actually watching what James Tallarico is telling everybody. He said, we invested in Hispanic radio. We had bilingual ads. We spent money. He went after a specific group. He never said they went after black voters. Not one time when you watch Chuck's interviews are he saying that he targeted black voters at all, because it wasn't a part of the strategy, because primary is about tribe, and who has the strongest tribe moves to the other side. If black voters show up at that level, nobody else has a choice but to come along with you if they want to win.
Gary Chambers, man, you know what? I really appreciate this education. Thank you so much for it.
Next. Wow. Okay, so I think what Steven is misunderstanding, and Gary Chambers, he makes good sense. He said, well, you got to run with a tribe in the primary. And Jasmine Crockett thought she was running with a tribe in the primary. That's why I disagree with Gary. I think she thought she was. Latinos and trans kids. She wasn't talking about policies for black Americans. I remember her talking, in fact, she made it seem like her style was enough. Her melanin was enough and her style was enough. Her body language, the way she dressed, the way she conducted herself. She said that aligns with black people. And black people evidently didn't think it did. I mean, Gary's being very nice, he's being, kind of charitable right here because he's not saying those things. But that's up to me to say. I'll say it for you, Gary. Nah, she wasn't running on blackness. She was running as a black candidate, but she didn't run with blackness in the forethought of her head, in her mind, and in the voters' minds. In fact, she did the opposite, bro. In the campaign, she was like, I'm not running as a black woman. It's funny. People heard her say that, and then instead of holding her accountable for that shit, they try to act like everybody else didn't hear it. Yeah, you Democrats and the sisters that are upset that she lost, we all heard her say that. We heard her say it. Here's the thing. The Latinos that weren't going to vote for her weren't going to vote for her. The white folks that weren't going to vote for her weren't going to vote for her. They're probably not even voting Democrat, okay? But the ones that did vote Democrat, they weren't believing that shit because she had been using all that extra sauce this whole time. So here's what she did. She got in front of the world and put on her best sister girl routine, even if that's her. Let's say that's her. I don't know. Let's say that's who she really is. Not the prep school, private school, 30,000 a year student, but actually an around the way girl. Fine. I'm not going to argue with you. Culturally, be whoever you want to be. Fine. That's who she is. She did that. She got on the world stage as that person. Then when she started running, she said, hey, I could get white voters. And I could get Latino voters. And basically tried to shed her blackness during the primary. How's that going to make sense? That don't make sense at all. And people are still, black people are still upset about this race. They're still pissed off that she lost. When she left her coalition, fuck that, I'm sorry. She didn't have a coalition, she had black voters. She rode in on a black horse and then she tried to get into a Lincoln Town car. She rode in on a Cadillac and then she wanted to jump into a Prius. Then she jumped out the Prius and tried to jump into a Tacoma pickup. No diss to Latinos, but whatever. IROC Z, don't even make IROC Z's no more. I don't know what you drive. A Benedigo, whatever. What's that? What's that car truck thing? A truck? It's a truck and a car at the same time. Whatever that is. Sure, I seen Ice-T in one of those. Or Danny Ayo. I'm all over the place. The point is this, fam. The point is this. Jasmine Crockett got out. She started the race in one way, and then she ended it in another way. And be real, she could have won. My thing, Gary Chambers, is you're right. That could have got her through the primary. And then she would have got her ass spanked in the general. But see, that's okay. Right? Because like you ran as a black man. In fact, your first ad, I remember, man, it made so much noise. You were smoking a blunt. Gary was up this joint, puffing, smoking a blunt, smoking weed. Not no cigar. You smoking a blunt. Because he was running on legalizing marijuana. And he won his primary and then got destroyed. John Kennedy, Republican, got 61% of the vote. I had to look this up. And Gary Chambers got 17%. Is that it? Is that true? That can't be true. I know the 61 is right. Can't read my own writing and shit. But yeah, to be honest, to be clear, Gary has a point. But see, my only thing is, running on blackness is one thing. Running as a black candidate is one thing. That's not enough. You could run as a black. Hell, man, Winsome Sears in Virginia was black. She ran as black. She looked black. Her hair didn't. That blowout shit, I don't know where she got that from. She should have braided that up. Some individuals or something. I don't know. But she was black. She didn't run on anything black at all. In fact, she spent half her time telling black people how wrong they were in various ways, trying to appeal to white folks, because that's who her base was, so I guess she did the right thing, because she wasn't trying to get black votes. But Jasmine Crockett did not run on any policies for black Americans. Her policies were helping undocumented Americans, not even Latino Americans. They helped undocumented people. And I don't think undocumented people get to vote like they do in California. See, that's a problem. You're running supporting a group of people that can't even vote for you. And some of the policies that you are supporting are actually detrimental to black Americans who you say are your base. It doesn't make sense. And then you say, why'd she lose? It's because she was black? The end up game plan sucked. Her strategy was horrible. She did not have a voting staff or a true campaign staff. She was outspent 5-1. And if you're going to be outspent 5-1, you better be laser focused on your target audience. No away games. No excursions. Focused like a pit bull. You better stay lockjaw on your base. And she wasn't. She got sassy and thought, I'm Jasmine Crockett. I got name recognition. I got that, and there it is. So anyway, the Gary Chambers, man, I extended you the same way I did to Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A., you have an open invitation to come on the Tim Black Show and have a real conversation. Just know you're going to be asked questions. You ain't going to just be able to wiggle out and just pretend. No. I'm going to try to be respectful, but it would be disrespectful to bring you on a platform and not ask you tough questions. If I'm going to bring you on a platform and not ask you tough questions, what's the point of bringing you on the platform? Now, we both look horrible. And I got people to feed. I can't have you, Brett, coming on my platform and we giving you a cake interview. So yeah, my door is open to Stephen A. My door is open to Mr. Gary Chambers. Come through. Come through. But if we're going to keep it real, let's keep it all the way real. But I will admit, you had one of the best breakdowns about Jasmine Crockett that I've heard any Democrat say. Because you were willing to admit shortcomings. If Kamala Harris would have just admitted some shortcomings of Joe Biden, who knows what would have happened? Thank God she didn't. All right, let's keep going. Next.
Catch Tim Black live on the most dangerous show in America, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Times. Don't miss out on the real. Stay dangerous.